Hi, I'm Joe Milligan, resident artist here at Peninsula Gallery in Lewis, Delaware. I started with artwork very young. My parents were both very artistic, and they encouraged me to continue with artwork, but worked throughout my youth and up to today. And I think the thing that really inspired me was just the creativity of being an artist. My kindergarten teacher said, "Good with paint, but messy with glue." My art tends to be more of the traditional American realist artwork. I focus on things that really inspire me and people can relate to. So it is more in that traditional vein of American art. So I look for things that excite me, and it can be something very mundane to other people. An old rusty bucket laying on the beach, an old wrecked boat, or a lighthouse in a stormy sky. So I look for something that inspires me first. Then I look at the creativity of changing things around a little bit, moving something here or there to give me a good composition, and then balancing out the colors in my palette to make sure that I get an interesting painting at the end, something that tells a story to the viewer. Watercolor has been my medium of choice for my entire life. I did do one oil painting back in 8th grade and didn't like it. It was too restrictive, too messy, didn't like the smell. So I've always painted in watercolor, and I'm still trying to master watercolor. It's a medium which is constantly changing. The excitement to me with watercolor is the fact that it's unpredictable at times, and you have to live with what you get, but that allows you to create very artistic effects as well as dramatic skies and seas, because the water goes where it wants to go sometimes and it does what it wants to do. It can be loose, but if you take your time and you're patient with watercolor, you can get some very fine line detail. So it's a matter of mixing the looseness to give you the creativity, give you the texture, give you the dramatic aspects of a painting, but then after allowing portions of it to dry, you can get into the detail of putting in those fine lines and really putting some detail into the painting too. So it's a combination of loose and fine that allows you to create a very realistic painting with watercolor. I'm hoping that it inspires you and it creates a story which you can take away from my painting. I try and start a story that you can finish with your own thoughts in mind, something that maybe you relate to in that picture is something that you take home with you, and it says, yep, that's something that every time I see that painting now hanging on my wall, it reminds me of a point in time in my life.